So what if no one told you how leading would feel like? You were sitting in your corporate position all nice and cozy and bored and annoyed for a long time, thinking, the grass on that side of the fence of being in a leadership position or, having my own business. Oh, the grass looks so green over there. It's just rolling hills and sunshiny days. And I'm going to get to do what I love. And I'll never work a day in my life because what I love is the secret. What I love, other people are going to love it too. And so the more I'm passionate about something, the more other people are going to care and they're going to want to buy it and give me money. And the more money I pour into it, the more people are going to see, yeah, she really cares. Let's buy her thing. Let's give her money. And oh, this episode is for you if you are listening with a bit of a sour taste in your mouth as I run through that thinking, yeah, I wish people loved the work that I've dedicated myself to as much as I do. And this is exhausting. Nobody told me how exhausting this would be. Nobody told me how lonely the top would be. Just being out in front, having all the responsibility as the owner, as the CEO, as the founder, as the leader. Let's have a conversation on this, the 26th episode of Wake Up Women Leaders. Shall we, ladies? Shall we, Nettie?
Definitely. I felt like knocking on your little glass office there where you were sitting there all pretty and neat and clean, just not having gotten into the mess of leadership, of entrepreneurship, of the overwhelm that it can be. You're still just so aspirational in all the things that you're imagining about what it could be for you on the other side, where it seems so green and vibrant, and yet, here in the real world, you're wondering, like, do I keep doing this? Should I throw in the towel? Should I, tap out? Like, this is hard. This is hard work. And I thought it was supposed to be joyful. I thought I was going to get to, meet with clients and have coffee with my girlfriends and work out every day. And I'm putting in more hours now than I did when I was sitting in that lovely, neat, tidy corporate job that I thought was so terrible. And look, I'm not dissing on being an entrepreneur. I love it. But there's a lot of misconception about what it is to be an entrepreneur, to be in that leadership role before you step into it. And you often only see that pretty, neat, tidy facade. You do not see the reality of the messiness that comes with the role. But today we're going to talk about it.
Hooray! At last. And this is for you, our dear listeners. We want to encourage you on your journey to continue to endure in serving others, to continue to pursue what you're called to. Don't give up. That's why we're having this conversation. So without further ado, introducing ourselves, I'm Sensei Victoria Whitfield. You can find me at strategicmeditation.com, where for the last 16 years, it's my honor to help impact-driven entrepreneurs and leaders like you to get and stay grounded and clear in mind, body, and business, helping you increase your energy so that you can increase your income and impact by managing your energy, your mental state, and well-being. And it's such a joy to get to be a part of this podcast alongside the incomparable Nettie Owens. Do tell us about yourself.
Thank you so much, Victoria. It is, I look forward to our conversations every Wednesday. I'm so glad to get to share these dialogues with you and with our listeners. It's such a joy. I'm Nettie Owens. I am the founder of the Sapari Group, where I help women in leadership to stay on track, stay focused, create a system of success that works for them to help them reach their goals, whether you are an entrepreneur or you are working in a leadership role for another organization. I am so excited to get to support you, to hear what's going on. I've been doing this work for over 2 decades, and it's just such a pleasure to help people really move towards what they envision as success for them. You can find out more at saparigroup.com, where I provide executive coaching, strategic planning, and accountability programming. Well, we've talked a lot about, we've sort of set this stage, and I'm so glad you said, this is for you, our listener. We're not trying to make you feel bad about how you're feeling right now. We actually just want to help you feel seen in how you're feeling, because there can be a pull to present as if everything's fine, and that's actually not going to help you in this particular situation where you're feeling like, wow, I just had no idea it was going to be this hard. And these are the kinds of challenges that I would face. But please listen to the very end, because we do have a solution for you. And we want to talk about what got you here, where you are, and what we can do about it.
It's important to honor your feelings. And by the way, if you haven't made the plunge into business ownership yet, if you've been considering it, this may also be a great podcast episode for you to think of, okay, what am I getting myself into here? What's the road ahead?
Mm-hmm.
Because especially as women leaders, women feel. And our feelings are our inner compass. It's important to honor if you are ever feeling like you are overwhelmed, exhausted, or out of balance. This is your inner compass telling you that you need to reorient to your right direction, your true north. And so this is to honor the fact that if you've gotten into your business, you're doing your best to launch or to try to figure out how to grow it, and you're getting frustrated, there is a more holistic approach that may help you to endure the journey of leadership, because that's what it really is. It's an endurance game. It's an infinite game. It's not a finite game.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing a finite game. We're looking to win. When we're playing an infinite game, one that lasts the longest, the point is not necessarily to always be winning, but instead it's to have the energy and the nourishment to continue to endure and stay in the game. And when we are looking at the experience of business ownership and leadership from the outside looking in, the grass looking greener, we have this sense of, look at how impressive that is. They're winning. They're winning at life. Look at how prestigious or how powerful she is or they are from the outside looking in. But if you're only focusing on the win, with love, we want to highlight that once you're in it, you're going to realize the wins come here and there, but the day to day, your health, your nourishment, your energy, Your focus, your discipline, and endurance is the real name of the game.
Hmm. And I would add to that your perspective on the work that you're doing. So if you got in this and you thought it was going to be a sprint to the finish, you got your first sale and suddenly you're imagining, you know, 50 more just like it, and they're not coming, not as quickly as you had hoped. You've gone through all your friends and family to make those first purchases, all your former colleagues, and now you have to go out and find those other customers, and that's hard. um, you're thinking about it like a sprint, and I want to invite you to a new perspective. Victoria called this an infinite game. It takes endurance. It's one where you are focusing on the journey. You are focusing on the progress that you are making day to day instead of focusing on having not achieved the goals that you had in mind when you started. I actually just spoke about this today with a client. I was rereading the book Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh. You may know he was the CEO of Zappos, online shoe company. That company started in 1999. It was the very first of its kind selling shoes online. It wasn't done at that point in time. They were the leader of the pack, and it was a hard industry to break into. Apparently, shoes is a hard industry to break into in general, but shoes online and this new concept, they had some initial wins and then difficulties. And the pathway to profitability was at least 3.5 years. That was with them bringing in millions of dollars. Okay, so keep that in mind. They were bringing in millions of dollars and they were not profitable. They had teams of hundreds of people and they were not profitable for the first 3.5 years of their business. I don't recall if they became profitable at that point or maybe 5 or so years. That's really normal. Like 5 years in is a normal level of profitability. So I was sharing this with the leader that I was speaking to today. We had a coaching session. You could see her face when I said that was so dejected. Like, oh my gosh, if I have to endure, I've already been at this for years. If you're saying that like there's no hope in sight, no, 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 that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you need to focus on the progress that you're making towards your goal instead of focusing on the gap of having not reached your goal. The gap of I wish I were at, profitability. I wish that this launch were already done and it had been successful. I wish all of these things that are not true yet for you. While you're focusing on what you haven't completed, you're missing all of the things that you have learned, achieved, the relationships you've created, the growth that you've had. That is part of the solution to this overwhelm, is to basically not miss the forest for the trees, if you like that expression, but to notice and enjoy the trees and notice the journey, notice the walk that you're on, and what it has brought for you. Especially if you took the leap to move from a corporate role into entrepreneurship, or if you took the leap to go from a worker to a leader within an organization. Notice all that you've achieved, all of the risks that you've taken that brought you here, and maybe even the mindset shifts that you have now that you did not have before. Victoria and I were talking a lot before this about what nobody told us in our own businesses before we became entrepreneurs, and it was not a short list. It was not.
Yeah.
No, but you might relate to some of these things. Nobody told me how that I would have to face my demons in order to succeed. That there was a lot of mental work in the growth of my business. How about you, Victoria? What was one of yours?
Oh, that one is huge, right? Like how I before I share my next one, I just have to say the like no one explained that leadership development and personal development like have to go together. It's not, oh, it'd be nice. No, it's, I've seen personal development lead to more sales.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen my personal development investments lead to improved team morale. It's just, it's like, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
No one told me, except for that old song, "One is the loneliest number." No one, no one told me how lonely being in business for yourself would be. The hours that are not paid,
Yes.
the research, the development, the planning, the organizing, the categorizing and filing, and the formatting, and like no one told me just how lonely being in business for yourself can be. There's no one that like in the next cubicle or the next office over to turn to and be like, hey.
That's when our fur employees come into the
Yes, fur babies.
Hey,
Yeah.
Scott, I want to tell you about this thing that I'm doing. You really can't. I mean, I think that there's some equivalency here in the shift to work from home, that can be some similarities in this space, but at the same time, um, there it's just this different level of loneliness. We talked about the loneliness of being a leader in a prior episode. Definitely go check that out. There's a lot more in depth that we've gone there, but in that episode. But I definitely have had a lot of conversations with women leaders around like there are things that they need to figure out. They cannot share them with their team if they have a team, and
Can't share them with your followers or your clients either, by the way.
right.
Not your
Family
family either.
friends don't get it, and so they're left like stewing over it, trying to solve it, not knowing where to turn, um, catastrophizing oftentimes, I don't know, and feeling like they're the only one. And truly, it seems like when you go into a leadership role, oh my gosh, you're going to be in this camaraderie of leaders. Well, only if you find them, only if you seek them out, only if you create that for yourself, only if you find a coach and provide that support for yourself. But otherwise, no, it's a super lonely road. And I brought on employees before I ever joined a professional association. It might have been helpful to do that in the reverse order, but that wasn't my path. Nobody told me I needed a professional association in order to really succeed. Um, I loved this one. I'm going to share it. I know it's on your list, but you said nobody told me that if I hung my shingle out, the sales wouldn't just come flowing in. Like, and we tied this together with just like this idea that if I love something, other people would love something. Oh my gosh, there's times that I have had to let go of the thing that I loved in my business because my clients didn't. It wasn't selling. I had to let go of entire sections of my business that I loved. But my business is not a hobby. My business is a business. It's to make money, and you can't just like put stuff out there that does not make money. Like, bottom line, you cannot put stuff out there that doesn't make money. It doesn't make sense to do so.
Yeah.
And you called this the number one misconception.
Oh my goodness. To this very day, that is it's I don't, how do I even say this? everyone who I talk to who wants to start a business, they start with the stars in their eyes of like, I love doing this thing and I want to do a business of it. Like I want to make money selling my paintings, or I want to make money doing like the like this this music, or I want to make money selling this kind of a t-shirt, or I want to make like they get excited about a topic, and the the difference between what you're excited about and what your buyer's excited about is blend, like it's non-existent at first. You think, oh, if I love something, I'm super enthusiastic about octopus plushies, like then that means anyone, when I make this perfect octopus plushie, by the way, like there are people who maybe, but like if you create something or you connect with, oh, I made the perfect app
Mm-hmm.
or the perfect AI agent or something like that, or the perfect website, or I wrote the best book. I'm so proud of this book that I've finally published. It's gonna fly off the shelf. Like you being able to separate your own love and enthusiasm from the reality of economic demand in the marketplace based off of real marketplace data, marketing research
And
that should
marketing.
what?
And actually marketing the thing. You can love it. You can love it till you die. But if you don't tell anybody about it, right? Like just loving something is not enough. And that is a misconception in business for sure. Um,
Oh yeah.
but both of us are in business. We love what we do, and we've been doing it for a long time. So I just want to put this out there. I know you said at the beginning, but even though we're saying that nobody told us these things and the road has not been easy, thank God it wasn't easy. And those difficulties brought us to where we are. We've learned so much. This is why I said it's so important to focus on the progress, what you're learning, and how you are succeeding more today than you were yesterday. Um, I wouldn't trade this path. So don't take these nobody told us as if it's a warning not to move forward.
Right.
Be aware that you're stepping into a wonderful path for self development. And it's not, it's going to be work, but it can be work that you really get a lot of fulfillment out of. And there are ways to ensure that you will not burn out before you reach the goals that you have. And so that's the other part that we want to talk about here today is what do you do so that you can keep moving forward to success when you start to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I'm the only one making decisions. This is so much harder than I thought it would be. What's the solution here?
Yeah. So for one, respecting the overwhelm as simply a sign of skill gap.
Mm, great reframe.
Respect it. Don't get repressive. Don't repress it. Don't shame
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Don't get depressed and shooting all over. I should be farther along than this. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Don't shoot on yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. Instead, respect the feeling of overwhelm as a skill gap. And I am not a fan of the word humble. So I'm not going to approach it. I'm just going to allow it to be in the room somewhere. But allow yourself the emotional space to be open to learn certain skills that you may have turned your nose up at before,
Mm-hmm.
right? Baby, roll up your sleeves. It's time to start chopping wood. Here's how to do basic marketing. Here's how to sell your product and not yourself. Here's how to generate leads. Here's how to ask for help. Here's how. Roll up your sleeves and start chopping that wood. I don't want to call it being humble because you can have your shoulders back, chest out, strong and as big and juicy, juicy, big an ego that you want and be teachable.
Mm-hmm.
Never stop being teachable. Honor the overwhelm as a skill gap. And
Mm-hmm.
also, and I'm going to hand this over to you, Nettie, remember to establish more balance in your life so that you can endure. Do you want to talk about balance?
Yeah, I just want you to, when you hear the word balance, as you're listening to this, if you're watching this, I want you to extract out of your mind any thought of equality. Think of a whole system, right? And oftentimes when we are overwhelmed, I see kind of two things happening. Either one part of the system is taking up an outsized portion of the whole. It doesn't mean everything needs to be equal, but there's a part of it that's like we have a bit of an invasive species going on here, and we need to rein that in, right? So if your leadership role, if your business has taken up too much of the ecosystem, then we need to allow some of the other parts of the ecosystem, your wellness, your relationships, to come back in to into the ecosystem, right? So I do a lot of gardening, and if I notice one plant is taking up all the resources, then I'm going to cut it back a little bit. I'm going to do some things to encourage the other areas of my garden to grow, to bring that balance back in. And what that can look like is, if you're feeling overwhelmed in your role as a leader, then we want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. It can look like grounding. It can look like exercise, sleep, drinking water, eating nutritious food, meditating, having a spiritual practice. I think I named most of them. Being hopeful about the future, journaling, all of these things, right? This is in our well-being category. And you can also further develop your relationships, spend time with friends, take time to go on a date with the person you care about, laugh, go encourage your own interests outside of this role. Like if that's dancing or knitting or, learning a new skill that's totally unrelated to your work and leadership role. That's part of bringing the balance and the joy back in. And you'll find that by doing so, overwhelm starts to decrease and you open up pathways for creativity to solve the problems that are in front of you. The other way that I see this out of balance and overwhelm coming up is being stuck in fight or flight mode, right? So all of these things are happening and you notice that you can't, make decisions as well. It's actually the same exact prescription, whether it's that you're spending a lot of time and it's taken up so much of your garden, or whether you just are feeling overwhelmed. We're going to solve it the same way. We want to be grounded and we want to take care of our well-being, and we want to bring those relationships back in and give them a little bit more space. Talk to somebody, talk to a friend, go out on a date, go out and put nice clothes on and, do something you haven't done in a while or something you haven't done at all. Right? These are the ways to bring things back into balance, aside from what we talked about earlier, which is that perspective of this is part of the path. And you are learning new things. And it's hopeful to be able to solve the problems that you have here and move towards your goals without getting stuck in the idea of, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I'm not where I want to be. I'm not as far along as I had hoped I would be. I thought I'd reach my goals by now. It's so far away. When we're in that, we're not problem solving. We're just in fear. But when we come back to say, I learned how to use QuickBooks today. Today I learned how to resolve a dispute. Today was the first day that I asked for double my rate in a proposal. Like all of these things are new skills that you can give yourself a gold star for, and that helps to calm that responsive nervous system down.
100%. Scripture says it is not good for man to be alone. Creator made us as women communal, tribal beings. Even our bodies sync, right? Our different cycles syncing.
Mhm.
So it's so powerful to be in community. When we're in leadership and ownership roles, it tends to carry the connotation of isolation. Oh, I'm a strong, independent, yada, yada. You want to know what's stronger than a strong independent? A whole village, right? It takes a village. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, right, it's because you may be maybe just a little bit too alone. Not for nothing. That's how Nettie and I both met, is when we joined a professional group coaching program. And that is also why we both have gone on to ourselves individually as well as together lead communities and gather leaders and owners so that we have more strength in numbers, right?
Mhm.
A rising tide lifts all boats. So it's not like you're not weird. You may feel like the odd woman out, that things are not going as fast as you would expect. But what's going to help you is to be around others who you can look around and say, oh, okay, it took so and so this long, or so and so's working on it and they've got all this other stuff going on. And having all of that love of community around you has been so key. I know for myself and for Nettie, for lifting us up and helping us endure in this infinite game
Mm.
of business ownership and leadership. And I would encourage all of you to do the same. If that speaks to you and you want to know more about that, you can drop the word connect in the comments below so that we could set up a three-way call between the three of us to hear your story of what's going on, see how we can help. We want to make sure that your energy is consistent for the road ahead as you go out there and share your work and lead the people that you're called to.
Yes, I'm so glad to be talking about this, just to be talking about the reality, because there is a lot of imagery about the belief of what entrepreneurship, what leadership will look like. And I'm I know that confident women will face any challenge head on if they know what they're facing. They'll be prepared, and they can address that challenge with confidence. And so that's what I want for you. And as Victoria said, if this speaks to you, we would be so honored to hear your story and see if there's a way for us to support you. Next week, we are going to be talking about budgeting your energy, not just your money, not just your time, but your energy. And this is such a good follow on to what we're talking about today, because it could be part of why you are feeling overwhelmed. If you have your energy budget, maybe it's not quite zeroing out, right? So if that's true, a little high on one side or low somewhere else, then we're going to talk about what that looks like for you as a leader. And I hope you'll come back and join us next week.
And I think what I'll hint for next week is I'm definitely going to bring up the medicine wheel. I'm not going to tell anyone what that is, but I'm definitely going to bring up the medicine wheel for helping you budget your energy properly. So, with that, you've made it to the end of the 26th episode of Wake Up Women Leaders podcast. If you enjoyed yourself and you made it this far, you know what to do. Make sure you hit the like button and the share button. Spread this inspiration and love so that more women and people who love women leaders can get access to this information. We are sending you so much love. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, everyone.